Hi, this is Cindy with Funky Country. I don't know why I had a lapse there real quick, but I'm Cindy with Funky Country, and I want to encourage you to embrace your crafting imperfections. Tonight what I'll be showing you is a really quick kind of a makeover from a Dollar General piece. Now, if you follow me, I talk a lot about taking pieces from Dollar Tree or Dollar General and repurposing them, but I don't do a lot of it because I like to get pieces that are raw, that I don't have to repaint or sand off things that are from the Dollar Tree, and I don't like to do the plain surface, like the back of it, and then have the surface that is printed like up against the wall or something. I want it to be complete all the way around. So I don't use these a lot, but with this one, I'm not going to even touch this. I'm not going to paint it. I'm not going to sand it off. I'm just going to cover it up, which makes it super easy. Then the back is plain. It doesn't look bad, and it's usable. It's like an MDF, and so it's pretty decent. I love the little detailing on here with the metal, and then it's got a hanger on it. And so we're just going to take this Dollar General piece, I think it was $1 there, and just make it really cute. So the first thing is to, it's just gonna be a fall craft. So I took some orange scrap paper that I have, and it's textured actually. It's got some texturing on one side and then just smooth on the other. And so I thought I would use the textured side as the side up, just to give it a really different appearance rather than having a smooth side. So what I'm gonna do is, there are two small screws up here. And so I just have a small detail, I don't even know what size this is, screwdriver, and I'm gonna take those out so that I can lift the paper underneath. So today is Tuesday, and after 4 months of working from home, I had to go back to work yesterday. And so one of the reasons why working from home is so good for me is it's quiet. And so I was really kind of apprehensive about going back and having 30 people in a room and the noise and the distractions and trying to get back in the groove of things, but it hasn't been bad actually. So I just took this two screws out, and I'm just gonna lift it up a little bit. Let me just put this down so that you can see what I'm doing, and hopefully I don't go too far down. And so I'm just gonna lift it underneath this. And so this is gonna just give it a more finished look. And I'm just gonna pull it, and then I'm gonna look on the back and just make sure that I've got enough on either side that I can cut it around, either with an X-Acto knife or a pair of scissors, and just trim it off. And then I can sand it. So I'm just looking at the back here and making it as even as I can before I put those screws back in, because it's going to tighten. It's going to make it harder to move around. So I did trace it, and it's backwards from how I traced it, but it'll be fine. Just gonna give it over one smidge there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna Mod Podge this. So I want it to be pretty much where I want it. All right, so that's what the back of it looks like. I've got area around here that I'm gonna be trimming off. I've got an area around here that I just need to pull there so I can trim it so it'll be tight. I'm just gonna make sure that these don't slip. And then I'm just going to take these little screws and put them back in. So the kind of stuff I work on like multimedia stuff and text. So working from home, at work I have 4 monitors that I work with. And working from home, I only had my computer screen, and I adjusted. I did everything. That was one of the things about going back to my desk, was that I had all 4 of my monitors that I could move stuff around and slide pages and see text on one, and see my media on another, and I could just, I could move it around. That was kind of cool, having all of my toys back from not at my office that I didn't have from working from home. So there we have it. So now I've got the screws back in, and it's coming along. I think it looks better than it did, right? So I'm just going to take some Mod Podge. It's completely up to you on how you, on how you put this how you apply this on. You can use a brush, you can use a foam brush. It's totally up to you. The key thing here is a thin layer, right? So even though it's thicker cardstock, you still don't want it to bubble. And so I'm just going to lift it up. I'm going to go all the way up here to where I have put it inside of the that little piece of metal there. And I'm just going to make sure I get to the sides. I've talked about that before. Making sure you get to the sides so that you don't have to come back later and try to get underneath. All right, so just going to, again, get it on here, but not too much. All right, you're not trying to just stick down something super heavy or something that needs to last an eternity, be stuck, right? This will probably get you through 1, maybe 2 seasons, right? And that is it. So don't pull it when you pull it up. Don't bend it. That's not the look you're going for. And so again, I'm just going to lightly go through this and just smooth it down. It's not absolutely necessary, but that's just the way I like to apply it. And I'm just moving it down, moving it down, moving it down, moving it down until it's completely adhered. Again, being stock paper or scrap paper, it's thicker, and so it's not going to bubble like a napkin would. You have to be really careful with a napkin, or with printer paper. You have to be really careful with printer paper if you're doing that. All right, so that is it. It is down, and it's not going to go anywhere. So while it dries, I'm going to take this printable that I have. Isn't that cute? I love these printables that I got from a crafter, and I love this. So that's kind of what I was thinking when I was doing it, is having the background. I initially thought of a black to go with the buffalo check, but it was too much black, too dark, and so I decided to go ahead and go with the orange. So see if I can move my camera back just a little bit. There we go. There we go. So now I'm going to cut this and get it to the shape that I want. So when I made one previously, and when I layered it on, I didn't like the fact that these were square and that the jar was rounded. So I'm just going to go ahead and round off the edges just so it blends in a little bit better. And because it's the buffalo check, I'm going to round it. So I'm just going to take the dark buffaloes, and then I'm going to curve it around the edge of that edge, and then the edge of this one, and this one, and this one. And so that will help keep my curves right about at the same angle. So I'm just going to go around and hit it there. And just do a little bit more trimming. And then when I get around that corner, do the same thing. Just turn the piece rather than the scissors, right? And then when I get to this edge, again, I'm just going to turn the piece, not the scissors, and get that cut. And then this last corner, get to the same point, turn it. And that's it. Pretty close. Pretty close. I got these two at the edge of the black, and then these two have a little bit less. So I could go back and trim it, but again, I'm going to embrace my crafting imperfections. I'm not getting it right, and I'm just going to go with it. So I'm going to place that here. Actually, what I'm going to do first, so that I don't want to include this edge, and I don't want to throw my balance off. I don't want to square it on this, knowing that I want to cut that off. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this over, and I'm going to go ahead and trim it. And again, I'm just taking a pair of scissors. You can certainly lay this down flat and run an X-Acto knife along the edge here if that's what you like to do. I find that these scissors work just fine. It gets really close, and it does fine. Before I came on, I was playing with a new toy that I got that I'm really excited about. I'm really excited about the possibilities. And one of the first steps is to print using your printer. And I was having a heck of a time getting my printer settings to print on this material. And I was getting so frustrated. And I almost gave up, and then I gave it one or two more shots, and I'm like, I'm gonna get this. And sure enough, I figured it out after multiple resets and taking the printer settings and doing something different with them. And anyway, I finally figured it out. So I've got this pretty close. And what I do like to do at the very end after I've completed these is to sand anything that's remaining, and that'll really get it fine and up against the edge there. You can certainly paint the edge if you want to. I might go back and do that, although I do highly suggest if you're going to paint, you do that first, because what winds up happening with me is that I want to paint it, and then I wind up getting paint on my paper. Not a good look. So if you're thinking about painting it after you've done the decoupage and put the paper on, just be really careful. You can't really, I don't know if you could really put painter's tape on this. I don't know if it would pull it up. I would maybe test it on a scrap piece and put the painter's tape down and see if it'll pull up without pulling this up, and then you can certainly edge it out. But yeah, just be careful. I probably will not go around the edge. I think it looks fine. So anyway, now to put this piece on. I really like this, rather than decoupaging, I really like, let me just bring my camera up one more little bit. I really like this tape that I got from Dollar Tree. And I'll show you the package if I had it handy. Hang on one second. Nope, I don't. I must have put it away. But it's just a double-sided sticky tape. I think they call it dots because you can do it in a long string, or you can clip little dots and put in the corners. So instead of doing more decoupage, I like to use this, and it also gives like more of a 3D look. So I'm just going to flip it over and put it along the edge here. If you catch this on the replay, do me a favor and put #replay so that I know that you watched. Leave any comments that you would like. I will go back and answer those. I should get the notification that you made the comment on the replay, and I will go back and see what I can help you out with, or if you have a question. Also, If you are enjoying my videos, I ask that you please consider sharing them. I have got some napkins that I just got in, some calendars that I just got in, and I'm going to be doing some giveaways. And so if you would share this to people that you think might enjoy those types of giveaways, that would be awesome. And to like and follow my page, that way you get notifications on when I'm coming on. That would be awesome too. I appreciate that. All right, one more. There's a post that goes around every now and then for people on Facebook that do crafts and things or whatever it is that they do. And it's so incredibly helpful when our information is sprinkled out there, is the new term, and you let people know about us. It's you don't have to buy anything. It's free to you. It's no pressure. Again, not to anyone that you don't think that would like this, but as crafters and entrepreneurs, we really appreciate it because it helps the algorithms. It helps people see us. And isn't that cool when you can interact with people and grow your community? Yeah, that's what I'm looking to do. So now I've got the sticky all the way around it, and I'm just going to eyeball it. No measuring. I've gotten pretty good. Actually, I'm going to move it down a little bit lower because I want to put a ribbon on it. So I want to accommodate for that, and I don't want it to go over my picture there. All right. I'm just going to smooth down the edges there. So it's coming along. What do you think? So far, pretty cute, right? Couple more things, and we'll be totally done with this. Super quick. So I have these buffalo check ribbons that I got at Christmas time from Hobby Lobby. They were in a package of like, I don't know, 5 or 7. And they're wired, and they're the perfect size for this. So they happen to be out in my ribbon area as I was looking for something to put on these, and I'm like, that'll work. That's what I want. And to pull it in a little bit, I've showed you these before. These are, I get these at Michael's, and they are in the jewelry department. At my Michael's, they are hanging right as you're coming out or coming into the line to check out. And it's almost like a paperish twine. I don't know what it's actually used for. I don't know why it's in the jewelry section, but it's perfect for crafting if you want to use something other than jute, right? And which is what I'm looking to do right now. So I'm just going to cut off a small piece. This orange is just, it's like it was made out of the same paper. And I'm just going to wrap it around the center here just to break up this black, right? And to pull the color up. That's another thing that I like to talk about is adding color throughout your design. Not just having it down here, but pulling it all the way through. And balance, like if you're decorating a wall. I see posts all the time. People will say, hey, I'm going to put this up on the wall. What do you think? And there's usually a resounding comments of saying, you know, go bigger, go smaller, add more pieces. It's all about balance and scale. And that's the most important thing. It's getting that balance and that scale. So I've got 3 loops around here. I don't know if I cut this off too small for me to, I might be able to tie this. Since I don't have nails anymore. There goes Jax, my dog. He's a corgi, so that means he barks at everything. I got my hot glue plugged in too, so there we go. All right, oops. All right, so I'm just gonna hot glue, I cut it too short, but I don't wanna waste it. So I'm just gonna hot glue it in place. So there's a little mark on my finger here. For the first time ever, this past weekend, I was getting ready to go to my booth, and I was doing some last minute pieces, and sure enough, with this glue gun, I glued something and then I needed to flip it over, and when I flipped it over, it stuck to my finger, and it was pretty doggone painful, let me tell you. So I'm just going to pull that piece down here, and then just let it sit for a second. And yeah, so that was, it didn't blister, thankfully, but yeah, it was hurting pretty good. So this new toy that I got, I had seen a crafter use it a while back. Thought that it would be neat to have. There was a discount, so I purchased it. And I got it maybe 3 weeks ago, and it was still in the box. And I was at my booth this weekend, and it makes stencils. And 2 ladies came in and asked me, that didn't do what I wanted. 2 ladies asked me if I could do some custom work for them. And I said, well, I've got the machine to do it, I just haven't taken it out of the box yet. And so the first lady came in, she asked me the question, and I really didn't think too much of it after that. And then the second lady came in and asked the same question. Now, that hasn't happened since I've been in my booth. I have not had 2 people come in back to back asking for the same thing. And so I truly believe that was a God wink of saying, you know what, people are asking for something you have the ability to do. Let's open up that box and get playing with that thing that you just purchased. And so, so that's what I've been doing. I've been looking at some YouTube videos, getting some techniques down, and I actually made one tonight that I'm looking forward to showing you later on this week. So there's the bow. See that little bit of orange, just again, it just pulls it through. So I am just going to cut off the ends here, so it's nice and clean. Now I don't like the ends of these, so because they're kind of they're frayed first of all, and they're kind of at an end. So I'm going to show you a trick. A lot of people, and I did too when I first started doing these types of ends, I was cutting them backwards. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this off straight, because I really want to start with a straight edge. And that one's going to be a straight edge too. So I'm going to basically dovetail them, right? So I'm going to bend it in half, and I'm going to cut away from me, right? I'm going to cut away from me. So it's going to be bent in half. I'm going to cut away from me at that slight angle. And it gives me that shape, right? What happens is that where people go wrong is they turn it, and then they turn it this way. They turn it upside down, and then it goes the wrong direction. So keep it up, put the seam down, cut away from you. And as long as you do that, you get it in that format, right? That's the one that everybody likes, with the going up, right? With the V going up, not going down. All right, this is the last piece. So I'm just going to glue it on Hey guys, I'm just going to glue it on right here in the center. And hold it down. If there's something that you're seeing around on Pinterest or in your craft groups, or something that you think that I could show you how to do, please let me know, and I'll be more than happy to take a look at doing that. If it's not something that I know how to do right away, but I think that I can probably figure it out with 1 or 2 tries, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to do that. I'm always looking for stuff. So that's the thing, that when people look at my crafts, they're like, you don't stay pitched, you don't just do stencils. I'm like, no, I don't just do wood flowers. No, there is a menagerie of stuff, and because I don't stay in one lane. I like to do different things, and it keeps me energized. It keeps me wanting to learn. And so, no, you won't find just 1 or 2 types of things that I work on. So if you've got something that you've seen that you would like for me to try, I'll probably give it a shot, because I want to learn it too, right? So there we are. There it is. So we took that Dollar General, printed, I think it was like a succulent or something. Added a couple pieces of paper, some ribbon. The only last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this wire black, because right now it's like a coppery color. It doesn't go with this. So with very, very, very little paint, I'm just going to brush it on. Then you've got the black going through. All the colors are cohesive, and it's just so cute. And for just a couple of dollars, really, you've made something that you can either hang on the wall. You could also take the wire off if you wanted to. You can get those little easels from Hobby Lobby. You get like 4 of them in a pack for like $3. You could set it on an easel and just leave it like that. Yeah, it's just, there's lots of possibilities. All right, so there's our craft for tonight. I hope that you enjoyed it. I'm looking at the stencil that I made, and I can't wait to show you what that's all about and where I think I might be able to go with it. That'll be, if not tomorrow, then the next day. I'd like to come on at least 2-3 times a week live to show you guys stuff that I'm working on. And I need to get busy, because it's the weekend's coming up. So again, thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. I can't wait to get all the stuff that I've gotten out. I've gotten a pile of napkins I'm going to do some giveaways on. I've got some really highly wanted calendars that people have been looking for that I'm going to do some giveaways. And I'm looking forward to doing that. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you, and have a good night.